Incredible 12-year-old Prodigy asks Millionaire for a heartwarming piano moment. His life-changing dream hangs in the balance. Tyler stood in the bustling community center, his fingers hovering over the worn keys of the piano. The sounds of laughter and chatter filled the air, but, in that moment, all he could hear was the music waiting to be born. At just 12 years old, he was a prodigy, and each note he played carried a piece of his heart, reflecting not just his dreams, but the weight of his family's struggles. As his single mother worked long shifts at a diner nearby, Tyler poured his soul into melodies that danced through the halls like whispers of hope. The anticipation for the local talent show loomed large, and word on the street was that Mr. Lawson, a millionaire philanthropist, would be in attendance as a judge. Tyler felt a mix of excitement and fear. What if he could finally be seen beyond the poverty that constrained him? With trembling hands, he wrote an earnest letter to Mr. Lawson, inviting him to share an unforgettable musical moment before the show. The ink smudged with the touch of his palms, but he pressed on. This wasn't just about a chance, it was about a connection, an acknowledgement of his persistence amidst adversity. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet, as his dreams grew, so did the pressure from his peers. Why play classical music, Tyler? They would tease, pushing him toward the trendy sounds buzzing through the airwaves. For days, he wrestled with their pressures like a boxer caught in the ring, grappling with his identity. His mentor, an elderly jazz veteran, listened to his doubts with a knowing smile. Tyler, he said, authenticity will carry you where popularity won't. Finally, during the talent show, Tyler stepped onto the stage, his heart pounding. He glanced at the crowd, faces filled with anticipation and tension. Taking a deep breath, he started his first piece, but something felt wrong. The notes fell flat, each one weighted by disappointment. Despair curled around him, squeezing tighter even than the harsh realities he faced every day. But then he remembered his mother's late-night whispers when he practiced, the sacrifices she made to see him shine. He thought of his mentor's words, resonating like the keys beneath his fingers. With a deep resolve, he stepped back up to the microphone. He struck the keys harder this time, pouring every ounce of emotion into each note. The music soared, echoing through the room as the crowd leaned forward, faces brightening with joy. Tyler's fingers danced, translating struggle into a melody that transcended their ordinary lives. As he played, he saw not just his own journey, but the collective hopes of the community swelling around him. The applause roared, enveloping him like a warm embrace. And yet, amidst the cheers, an unanswered question lingered in the air. Would recognition follow? Could the connection he so desperately sought heal what had been broken? The applause echoed in his ears, each clap thundering like the heartbeat of 1,000 dreams. Tyler soaked in the moment, the bright lights bathing him in a glow that felt almost celestial. As he finished, brushing his fingers across the last notes with a gentle finality, silence fell for just a beat. Then, like a dam breaking, the crowd exploded into cheers and shouts, drowning Tyler in an ocean of encouragement. His heart soared, but a seed of doubt still lingered. Had he truly connected? He scanned the audience, searching for Mr. Lawson's unmistakable figure. Would the man who held so much influence be moved by this moment, or would he remain just a distant star, not realizing how close he actually was? Tyler's gaze landed on his mother, who had rushed to the front of the crowd, tears sparkling in her eyes. That sight made him smile. Everything he did, every practice session late at night, was for her. She had always believed in him even when he struggled to believe in himself. But then, as the applause began to fade, he saw Mr. Lawson standing behind a panel of judges, arms crossed with a contemplative expression. Tyler's chest tightened. He had put everything into that performance, yet there was still no assurance of the desired result. The bitter truth thrummed silently in his mind: acceptance is sometimes as fickle as the wind. After the show, people flocked to congratulate him. Friends, strangers, even the local bakery owner, all showering him with praise. "You were amazing, Tyler. That last piece? Pure magic." Each compliment felt like a balm for his worries, yet he still searched for the one voice that might change his fate. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Mr. Lawson approached him, his demeanor shifting from the stern judge to an encouraging figure. "Tyler," he began, his voice deep and warm, "you truly have a gift. You've sparked something in this room tonight." The words hung in the air, crisp and promising. Tyler's hope flickered alive. "Thank you, sir. I just wanted to share my music. I want to make a difference," Lawson completed, a knowing smile on his face. "I can see that. And I believe there's potential here worth nurturing. What if we sit down and discuss how to get you to the next level?" Tyler's heart raced. They would talk, he could finally share his dreams, his aspirations. But as excitement welled up, another sharp edge of fear cut through. What if Mr. Lawson realized he was just a kid from nothing? What if he saw the shadows of doubt lurking behind Tyler's hopeful smile? "Let us meet tomorrow afternoon," Lawson continued, snapping Tyler from his worries. "I want to ensure you're not just a fleeting moment but a force to be reckoned with." 1,000 thoughts rushed through Tyler's mind. He nodded but felt the weight of expectation pressing down on him. Could he really prove himself? Would he have what it truly took? As they parted, he stole a glance back at his mother, who returned a reassuring smile filled with pride. That sight gave him strength. He could do this. He had to, yet as he walked out of the community center, a thought nagged at him: what if he failed? What if tomorrow didn't bring the breakthrough he hoped for? With the sun setting in the distance, painting the sky in shades of orange and red, Tyler felt the emotional tug-of-war within. He wanted to believe, but doubt danced just beneath the surface. And as his eyes scanned the horizon, uncertain what lay ahead, he couldn't help but wonder if he was really ready for this challenge, the one that could change everything. The next morning unfolded with an uneasy energy. Tyler awoke with the weight of yesterday's performance still clinging to him. The sunlight streamed through his bedroom window, casting warm beams across the floor. He stared at the ceiling, heart pounding with anticipation and anxiety, wondering if today would be the culmination of all his nights spent pouring his soul into the piano. He replayed the moment he had shared with Mr. Lawson. A force to be reckoned with, the phrase echoed in his mind like a siren call. Yet, the sweetness of those words was often drenched in his looming fears. What if he wasn't ready? What if he crumbled under the pressure? Tyler glanced at the clock. The hands crept closer to noon, and he felt a knot tighten in his stomach. With one last look in the mirror, fixing his hastily arranged hair, he reminded himself of the most important thing: his music was part of who he was. It was the bridge he built to share his heart with others. His mother's voice drifted from the kitchen, the aroma of pancakes filling the air. "Tyler, breakfast is ready. You need energy for today." He smiled, remembering how she always encouraged him to nourish both his body and his dreams. "I'll be right down, Mom," he called back, taking a deep breath, forcing the apprehension aside. As they ate together, his mother shared small stories about her own dreams as a young girl. It sparked something within him, a reminder that everyone faces their own hurdles. "You know, Tyler," she said, her eyes sparkling, "no matter what happens today, you've already made us so proud. You're chasing your dream." Her words filled him with strength, but doubt flickered in the back of his mind. Could he manage to be more than a fleeting moment in Mr. Lawson's eyes? Could he make his mark? After breakfast, he prepared in silence, his fingers trembling slightly on the keys of the piano as he played through a few warm-up scales. Each note grounded him, reminding him why he loved music in the first place. But the deeper he ventured into the music, the more he questioned if he had the range to shine in front of someone like Mr. Lawson. With an hour left to go, he finally made his way to the community center once again. As he walked through the doors, the scent of fresh paint and polished wood filled the air, amplifying the gravity of the moment. Memories of last night's performance buzzed in his mind, mingling with the anxiety that rattled his nerves. Tyler spotted Mr. Lawson seated at a table, engrossed in notes and papers. The man looked up, a smile breaking through the focus on his face. "Tyler. I'm glad you made it." There was warmth in his tone, but Tyler couldn't shake the sensation of being under a spotlight once more. "Thank you for meeting with me," Tyler said, his voice barely above a whisper but thick with emotion. "I really appreciate this opportunity." Lawson nodded, gesturing for him to take a seat. "We're going to dive into your music today, and I want to hear more about your vision. This isn't just about playing, it's about finding your voice in the music." As Tyler settled into the chair, the weight of expectation bore down on him once again. There was so much at stake. Did he have a voice powerful enough to echo beyond his small world? His heartbeat quickened, filled with uncharted emotion. "Are you ready?" Lawson asked, watching him closely. Tyler drew in a breath, feeling the air surge in his lungs like the swell before a storm. With a determined nod, he replied, "Yes, I think I am." But deep down, he felt the anxious thoughts whirling. What if he stumbled? What if he couldn't meet the expectations? It was a question that loomed in the shadows, ready to pounce at any moment, closer now than ever to the moment that could define him. Tyler prepared to face the music not just on the keys, but in every aspect of who he was. And yet, as the silence stretched between them, echoing with the possibilities of the unknown, he couldn't help but wonder, what exactly would it take for him to become the artist he dreamed of being? The room felt alive with unspoken tension as Tyler settled in, the weight of Mr. Lawson's questioning gaze drawing him deeper into his thoughts. It was as if the air had thickened, electrified by anticipation and fear. "Let us begin," Lawson said, breaking the spell. He leaned forward, his eyes kind, yet penetrating. "Play something that speaks to you." Tyler hesitated. Which piece could capture everything he felt? After a moment that felt like eternity, he chose his favorite composition, a melody he had poured countless hours into perfecting. It was a piece filled with hope and longing. Just like him, his fingers brushed the keys, and as he began to play, something shifted within him. Each note flowed like water from a spring, unearthing emotions buried deep inside. He lost himself in the music, feeling the weight lift as he transformed anxiety into passionate sound. The notes swirled around, creating a tangible atmosphere that filled the room. Tyler poured every ounce of his being into the performance. He could feel Mr. Lawson's watchful presence, but it didn't overwhelm him, it fueled him instead. With every chord, he conjured memories of late nights practicing, the late-night talks with his mom about dreaming bigger, the fear of failure that haunted him. As he concluded, silence washed over them. Tyler opened his eyes, breathless. Lawson sat still for a moment, absorbing what he had just witnessed. Uncertainty crept back into Tyler's mind. Maybe I messed up, maybe it wasn't enough. A rush of self-doubt threatened to drown him, but then Lawson exhaled, the corners of his mouth curling into a genuine smile. "That was beautiful, Tyler. You captured something real in your music." Relief flooded over him, but a flicker of confusion remained. "Really? You think so?" His voice trembled. "Absolutely. Music isn't just about technique, it's about emotion. You have that in spades. The world needs to hear your voice. But tell me, what inspired that piece?" Lawson leaned closer, genuine curiosity radiating from him. Tyler's heart raced as he shared his inspiration. It's about finding your way through the darkness, I guess. Like a journey. I've struggled with feeling like I don't belong sometimes." There was a quiet understanding in Lawson's eyes. "We all have our battles, Tyler. The key is to channel them into your art. You have a gift for doing just that." A surge of warmth spread through Tyler, kindling the confidence that had flickered within him. It was as if Lawson had unwrapped a lost piece of himself. "I want to write something that can help people feel less alone," he admitted, his voice stronger now. "Then that's your mission," Lawson replied firmly. "As you keep developing your skills, hold on to that goal. Great musicians uplift others. You must believe you're capable of that." Tyler nodded, feeling bolder. "I will," he promised, an inkling of certainty dancing in his chest. "Now, let us explore some advanced techniques that can help you enhance your sound," Lawson said, shifting gears. He demonstrated a few intricate moves on the piano, his fingers dancing across the keys like they were a part of him. Tyler listened intently, heart racing with excitement. As they delved deeper into the mechanics of music, Tyler felt exhilarated, like a sculptor chiseling their first piece. The deep connection to his craft grew stronger, the fears that loomed large began to fade. But just as confidence swelled, a new thought crept in, darkening the burgeoning light. What if I can't keep this up? What if it all slips away? Before he could spiral into doubt, Lawson put a hand on his shoulder. "Remember, progress takes time. Trust the journey." Tyler nodded, but the nagging doubt lingered. As their session rolled on, new ideas ignited in Tyler's mind, but not without the haunting question, was he truly ready to embrace the responsibility that came with sharing his voice? And in that moment, standing on the brink of transformation, he wondered what challenges lay ahead on this path to becoming the artist he dreamed of. Was he prepared to face them? The sun had dipped lower, casting golden rays through the tall windows, illuminating the dust particles dancing in the air. Tyler sat on the edge of the piano bench, his heart still racing from the earlier performance. Mr. Lawson's words flickered in his mind, a steady reminder of the path laid before him. "Now, let us talk about your next piece," Lawson said, his voice steady and encouraging. "How can you practice incorporating more emotion into your dynamics?" Tyler leaned back, thinking hard. "I felt it today. Like, when I played, the music came from somewhere deep inside. I need to find that again, right?" The uncertainty in his voice almost overshadowed the determination building within. "Exactly." Lawson smiled, his eyes narrowing in concentration. "Let us break it down. This next piece needs not just technique, but layers of feeling poured into every note. Let us work on pulling the audience in until they can't help but listen." Tyler nodded, imagining what it would be like to have an audience captivated by his every note. He felt a warmth spread through him, a flicker of excitement and a hint of fear tangled together. "I want to write something new. A piece that means something real." Lawson's eyebrows shot up in approval. "That's the spirit. What do you want this piece to communicate? Maybe the feeling of hope after a storm? Like, when everything seems dark, but then you see a ray of light break through the clouds," Tyler said, passion igniting his words. "People need that kind of music. They need to feel like they aren't alone in their battles." "A beautiful idea," Lawson replied softly. "Let us try sculpting it together. How do you envision starting?" Tyler glanced at the keys, taking a deep breath. He found a simple melody forming in his mind, soft yet increasingly powerful. As he played, his fingers cautiously danced across the keys, exploring each note. He began to picture the storm tense, swirling chords reflecting chaos, followed by a gentle shift to striking tones that captured flickers of light. But as he played, the haunting question crept in again. What if it's not enough? He whispered, half to himself. Lawson's steady gaze found him. "Tyler, music is not about perfection. It's about connection. If you feel it, they will feel it. Trust in your ability to convey emotion." Taking another deep breath, Tyler tried to silence the doubts. With renewed resolve, he poured himself into crafting the next phrase. He visualized the rain pouring down, the weight of loneliness mingling with fierce determination. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and a petite girl peeked in, uncertainty painted across her face. Sorry to interrupt," she started, shyly clutching a stuffed rabbit. "But are you Tyler?" My mom said you're really good at music. Can I listen? Tyler's heart soared. This was his chance to begin fulfilling his goal. Of course. Come in. He felt a rush of warmth. I'm just working on something new. As the girl stepped inside, her wide-eyed curiosity lit up the room. Tyler glanced at Lawson. The smile on his mentor's face mirrored the one he felt growing inside him. Every audience has a different story, Tyler, Lawson whispered. This is just the beginning. Tyler nodded, reassured yet nervous. He knew he was stepping into a new, uncharted territory. Would the emotion he poured into his music reach her? He began again, fingers gliding on the keys, creating a soundscape of hope and resilience. Oddly comforting, the girl's presence fueled his resolve. He could feel the heartbeat of his music sync with hers, as if they were sharing a moment across barriers of age and experience. As he transitioned into the next theme, the girl's enchanted gaze drew him deeper into his creation. But a shadow of doubt flickered again at the back of his mind. Could he really make a difference? The last note lingered in the air as he finished, and the girl clapped enthusiastically. That was amazing. You have to write more. Tyler felt a glow of pride swelling inside him. Thanks, he managed to say, his voice stronger now. But just as joy spread through him, a thought nagged. This was just one listener. What about the challenge of truly sharing his music with the world? As the session wrapped up, Tyler couldn't shake off the feeling that he stood at the threshold of a grand journey. Would he have the courage to dive deep? Would he be able to share his heart in a way that resonated? His road to becoming the artist he dreamed of was only just beginning, but the deeper question remained: could he nurture this gift into something that would resonate with many? The warmth of the moment hung in the air long after the girl left, her excitement echoing in Tyler's mind. Joy mingled with a hint of anxiety, the questions flooding back. Could he really craft something that connected with so many? With every performance, there was always the worry of not being good enough, yet having that little girl listen had ignited a spark in him. Tyler turned towards Lawson, whose expression brimmed with pride. You did it, Tyler. You reached her. That means something. Yeah, but Tyler hesitated, the words tangled in his throat. What if it was just a fluke? What if I can't do it again and again? Lawson placed a reassuring hand on Tyler's shoulder. That's where growth happens. Every note you play is a step forward. The fear never goes away completely, but it shouldn't stop you either. Think of it as a dance, you can stumble and still find your rhythm. Encouraged by Lawson's analogy, Tyler took a seat at the piano once more. This time, though, a surge of energy pulsed through him, fueling his fingertips as they began to dance across the keys. He closed his eyes, visualizing that storm again, the chaos followed by that moment of breakthrough light. He played with an urgency he hadn't felt before, pushing through the barrier of doubt, letting the melody flow freely. As he played, images of family and friends filled his thoughts. He thought about his little sister, Emily, who adored listening to his music late at night. Her smiles were reminders of the spirit he wanted his music to convey. With every note, he felt their struggles and triumphs wash over him, each one becoming part of this new piece. Suddenly, the door swung open once more, and Mr. Harris, the principal of the school, stepped into the room, a curious expression on his face. I heard some beautiful music in the hallway. I had to see for myself. Tyler, is that you? Tyler stopped mid-chord, the surprise churning in his stomach. Yes, sir. I was just. He stumbled over his words, unsure how to explain his passion. A natural talent like yours should be shared, Mr. Harris smiled brightly. We have a talent show coming up. I think you should consider playing. It could be a great opportunity for you. The suggestion stirred excitement and fear within him. Play in front of the whole school? His heart raced at the thought, a mixture of exhilaration and trepidation enveloping his whole being. Could he handle that pressure? Maybe I will, he replied, unsure if he even believed himself. Good. Just remember, it's not about just the applause, Mr. Harris added with a wink. It's about sharing your story and connecting with others. You never know who might be inspired by what you play. The principal's words stayed with Tyler long after he left. He began to think about everything that had pushed him to this moment: the late nights spent practicing, the tears when he felt stuck, and the thrill of creating something truly his. That evening, as he sat in front of the piano, a line from his earlier piece caught his ear. He began playing around with it, letting new ideas flow. Each note was infused with the fragile beauty of hope he wanted to communicate. The fears started to fade, replaced with an intoxicating blend of joy and purpose. But just as Tyler began to feel his momentum building, a sudden thought struck him. What if he played something different? Something bolder, a risk that would truly showcase who he was as an artist? Taking a deep breath, he decided then and there to explore that path. Tomorrow, he muttered with determination, I'm going to push my limits. With renewed energy, he moved towards the edge of his piano seat, his fingers dancing over the keys in a way that felt electric. But in the back of his mind, uncertainty lingered. Would expanding his boundaries lead to a breakthrough, or would it only heighten his insecurities? He paused, a single note hanging in the air, echoing the question that now hovered above him. What would happen when he finally stepped out of his comfort zone? The next morning was overcast, the sky draped in a blanket of gray. Tyler found himself staring out the window, watching raindrops race down the glass. The caffeine buzz from his mom's coffee filled the air, blending with the electric anticipation in his chest. His heart beat harder as he thought about the talent show. Come on, Tyler. Don't let the gloom get to you, Emily chimed in as she dashed into the kitchen, her face lit up with enthusiasm. You're gonna ace it. Yeah, but acing it means facing the crowd first, he replied, trying to mask his nerves with a weak smile. Think about that little girl. She'll be there, Emily said, as she grabbed a piece of toast. You gotta play for her and everyone else who believes in you. Her words danced across the surface of his anxiety, offering a flicker of hope. He could almost hear the notes swirling in his mind, waiting to take flight. You're right, he said, straightening his posture. I can do this. As Tyler arrived at school, he could sense the buzz in the hallways. Posters decorated the walls, each one boasting the talent show's title and the date. Students made plans and shared last-minute ideas, an excited hum echoing around him. Anxiety squeezed at him, but with each second, he felt a growing determination rise within him. His first class dragged on, his mind far from the math problems on the board. He glanced at the clock, the hands ticking slowly as if mocking his anticipation. When the bell finally rang, Tyler rushed to the music room, his sanctuary amidst the chaos. He needed to be alone for just a moment to ground himself before the whirlwind that he settled at the piano, placing his fingers on the familiar keys. They felt like home beneath his touch. Tyler closed his eyes and took a deep breath, summoning the melody he had been refining. He let it flow, painting the air with notes filled with emotion and vulnerability. The sound reverberated through the room, wrapping around him like a warm blanket. Moments later, Lawson appeared at the doorway, leaning in to listen. There's that spark, he exclaimed, beaming. What are you calling it? Tyler paused, the question pulling him from his trance. I don't know yet. It's still forming, like part of me still figuring it out. Sometimes the best things come from that uncertainty, Lawson encouraged, stepping into the room. What do you want the audience to feel when you play? Tyler opened his eyes, letting Lawson's question settle like fine dust in the air. Hope. I want them to feel like they can do anything, like they're not alone. Just like that little girl, Lawson nodded, his expression serious. That's what connects us as humans, sharing our stories and struggles. Determined, Tyler grabbed a piece of paper, his heart racing as he scribbled down a title, Chasing Light. It encapsulated everything he aimed to convey: the journey through darkness toward hope, true to the unpredictability of life. Lunch rolled around, and the cafeteria buzzed with chatter. Tyler sat with Lawson and Emily, of course, but he noticed his classmates whispering and glancing his way. A couple of his friends came over, their smiles wide. "Hey, Tyler. Heard you're gonna play." One of them said, excitement dancing in their eyes. "That's so cool. Can't wait to hear it." The simple sincerity in their words warmed him. This wasn't just about him anymore, it was about community. But just as he felt that warmth, the door flew open with a bang. In walked Angie, one of the more popular girls at school, her confidence radiating. "Tyler. You're bringing the piano to the talent show, right?" She called out, a smirk playing on her lips. "You do know not everyone will be nice, yeah?" Laughter pealed from the group of her friends, spreading through the cafeteria like wildfire. Tyler's heart sank, and doubt crept in. What if he stumbled? What if he was laughed at instead of applauded? Yet, as he caught Emily's encouraging gaze, the fire reignited inside him. He would not allow their words to overshadow his dream. "I'll show you," he called back, every ounce of his resolve behind those words. As lunch ended and he made his way to the gym for the tech rehearsal, Tyler swallowed his fears. He had a story to tell, and this was his moment. Standing backstage, he could hear the murmurs of the crowd as they filtered in, hearts bouncing with excitement. Taking a deep breath, he turned to Lawson and Emily, a flicker of uncertainty still dancing in his chest. "What if I forget the notes?" "You won T. Just play from your heart," Lawson reassured him. As the spotlight lit up the stage, he stepped forward, feeling every ounce of the crowd's gaze on him. With trembling hands, he posed his fingers above the keys and then, everything shifted. Would he sink into that familiar fear or rise to meet this new challenge? The moment Tyler's fingers hovered over the piano keys, a storm of emotions surged through him. The dim light cast long shadows across the stage, amplifying the weight of countless eyes on him. He could hear the rustle of programs, a low hum of anticipation rippling through the audience. Taking another deep breath, he mentally shut out the distractions and focused. The first note floated into the air, and surprisingly, he felt an exhilarating rush of adrenaline. It was as if every doubt, every sneer, faded for just a heartbeat. His fingers danced over the keys, releasing the melody he had toiled over for weeks. The sound was pure. It filled the space like sunlight breaking through clouds, and with every note, he embraced his truth. He was an artist, a storyteller. As he played, he envisioned that little girl, the one with the bright smile who had inspired him, sitting in the audience. He pictured her at the hospital with her tiny hands gripping the edges of her bed, hope shining in her eyes. When the music swelled, he poured everything he had into it, his fears, his dreams, the fight to be seen. Suddenly, he began to forget the crowd. The laughter from the cafeteria morphed into whispers of encouragement, just like Emily had said. Hopes intertwined with chords, and as he launched into the bridge, a wave of clarity washed over him. This was his moment, and it was wholly his. When he finished the piece, there was a beat of silence. Tyler held his breath, heart pounding in his ears. Then, as if a switch had been flipped, the audience erupted in applause, their cheers echoing off the walls. Lawson and Emily were on their feet, beaming at him with pride, their claps synchronizing with a rush of adrenaline that made Tyler grin from ear to ear. As he stepped forward to bow, glancing at the crowd, he locked eyes with Angie. For the first time, instead of malice, he saw admiration reflected in her expression, surprising him. Had he truly changed the game in her eyes? But that thought was cut short as a familiar figure stood from the back of the audience. It was Mr. Thompson, the millionaire philanthropist who had recently moved to town. Tyler had seen him at charity events, always out of reach. Now, as their gazes locked, Tyler felt a spark of recognition. After what felt like an eternity, Mr. Thompson approached the stage. Tyler couldn't help but feel a swirl of nervous energy mixed with hope. Would he have a word with him, or would it all end here? "Tyler!" Mr. Thompson called out, his voice warm and inviting. "That was incredible. I felt every note you played. It's rare to see such raw talent. Thank you, Tyler managed to stutter, surprise and thrill coursing through him. I have an idea, Mr. Thompson continued, his eyes gleaming with excitement. What if you and I collaborated on something extraordinary? I want to help you chase your dreams. Tyler's heart raced, a mixture of disbelief and anticipation flooding him. This was beyond anything he could have imagined. The spotlight was still on him, and the audience was buzzing with excitement over what this could mean. As he stood there, a million thoughts raced through his mind. What would this mean for his music? For the little girl? For his future? The curtain hadn't fully fallen yet, and he was standing on the edge of something monumental. Would he take the leap into the unknown or hold on to his fears and doubts? Tyler blinked, processing Mr. Thompson's words. Collaborate? His lips parted, but no words came out. This was real, this was happening, and he could barely grasp the enormity of it all. The audience was still buzzing, their excitement palpable, but it almost felt like he was in a dream. Are you serious? He finally stammered, searching Mr. Thompson's face for any trace of joking. Absolutely, Mr. Thompson replied, his smile warm and genuine. Your music moved me. It spoke to a place deep inside. I believe we can create something amazing together. The weight of the moment crashed down on Tyler. No one had ever believed in him like this before. The potential of it swelled in his chest, a blend of hope and anxiety. What if he wasn't good enough? What if he failed? Yet, the thought of stepping into an opportunity like this sparked an ember of determination deep within him. I would love that, he finally said, surprising himself. As the words left his mouth, a sense of purpose replaced the fear that was gnawing at him. Mr. Thompson clapped Tyler on the shoulder, and his heart leapt. Great! Let us set up a meeting. I want to hear all about your ideas. Emily and Lawson rushed to his side, their eyes wide with excitement. Did that just happen? Lawson exclaimed, practically bouncing on his feet. Looks like our boy is going places, Emily said, giving Tyler a proud smile that warmed him to the core. As the crowd began to disperse, Tyler took a step back, allowing the moment to settle in. But the reality of his life started to creep back in, alongside the shadows of doubt that still lurked in his mind. Could he truly juggle school, family, and his newfound opportunity? What would it mean for the little girl, who had inspired him so profoundly? Just then, Tyler felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned around to see Angie stepping forward. Her expression was thoughtful, almost vulnerable. Tyler, that was it was really beautiful, she said, her voice soft. I didn't know you could play like that. He blinked, taken aback by her sincerity. Thanks, it means a lot. Are you really going to work with him? She asked, a hint of awe in her voice. I guess so, he replied, unable to contain a shy smile. But I'm nervous about it. Don't be, she said, surprising him further. You're great. Just remember, it's okay to be scared. Just don't let fear hold you back. Her words resonated deeply. She was right, fear had clung to him for too long. As he looked at her, he could see a flicker of understanding pass between them. Perhaps she saw something in him that even he hadn't yet recognized. Thanks, Angie. I'll remember that, he said, feeling a strange warmth towards her. In that moment, something shifted. Tyler realized he wasn't alone. He had a community, the audience, his friends, even Angie. They believed in him, and that belief was a sort of power. As silence enveloped the stage, he took a deep breath. What was next? A journey awaited him, filled with questions and possibilities. Balancing school, relationships, and a musical career seemed daunting, but for the first time, he felt ready to embrace it all. But as he stepped off the stage and collided with the noise of reality once more, a chilling thought crept in: what if he stumbled along the way? Would he worry them all? Would he fall short of the dreams that had just begun to dance before him? The stage had illuminated a path, but it felt uncertain. What lay ahead was no longer just a dream, it was a vast and exciting unknown, and so he would stride into the light, not just as a pianist, but as a young man determined to turn doubt into motivation, starting from this very moment. Would he rise to the occasion, or would the weight of expectation pull him under? It felt like the beginning of something big. But with each step forward, the lingering question burned in his mind: what sacrifices would he need to make to turn this incredible opportunity into reality? The sun broke through the clouds the next day, bathing everything in a halo of golden light. As Tyler got ready for the meeting with Mr. Thompson, he felt a sense of clarity wash over him. The anxious thoughts that clouded his mind began to dissolve. He was ready to embrace this opportunity, not just as a prodigy but as someone with experiences and emotions that could resonate through his music. "Mom!" He called from his room, tightening his tie in front of the mirror. "Are you ready? I don't want to be late." She appeared at the door, her smile brightening the room. "You look sharp, kiddo. Just remember, you have something incredible to offer. Don't be nervous." As they drove, Tyler tapped his fingers against his knee, imagining the possibilities this meeting could bring. He thought of how far he'd come since that first awkward performance at the community center. The laughter and doubts were now just background noise to the symphony of hope that played in his heart. Arriving at the cafe where they were set to meet, Tyler's pulse quickened. The space was filled with sunlight, and the chatter of patrons offered an air of possibility. He spotted Mr. Thompson in the corner, his demeanor relaxed but attentive, as if he genuinely cared about what was to come. "Tyler," Mr. Thompson greeted with an inviting smile, waving him over. "I'm glad you made it. Let's talk about your vision for our collaboration." As they sat across from each other, Tyler couldn't shake off the feeling of butterflies in his stomach. "Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Thompson." Please, call me Mark," he interjected, leaning closer with an encouraging glint in his eye. "I want this to feel like a partnership. Let us explore what you want to create." In that moment, Tyler felt a rush of gratitude. "Okay. I've been working on a piece called Chasing Light. It's about hope after the storm, finding your way when everything seems dark." "Wonderful," Mark replied, nodding. "Tell me more. What do you want people to feel when they listen?" Tyler started to share his ideas, flushing out every thought, overcoming the fears that had once held him captive. As he spoke, he felt the music flowing through him, transforming every word into melody. "Yes. That emotion is key," Mark exclaimed, making notes. "You're onto something powerful. I see potential here, potential for something that can inspire countless people." Tyler's heart soared. Here it was a chance not just to make music, but to make a difference. Their conversation sparkled with ideas, and every idea ripped the veil of doubt away by the seams. Eventually, Mark leaned back, looking impressed. "We should organize some workshops, maybe even a small concert to see how people respond. I can help you arrange it." "Really? That would be incredible. But what if I'm not ready?" The question slipped out, a vulnerability he hadn't intended to share. Mark looked at him steadfastly. "Tyler, remember, it's through our flaws and our insecurities that we connect. Don't wait for perfection, just let your heart lead." Their discussion continued, flowing like music notes blending into a harmonious composition. Tyler left the cafe with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying the weight of expectation lightly now. The path ahead still felt daunting, but it was no longer shrouded in fear. Reaching home, Tyler found Emily exploring the piano, her small frame hunched over the keys, experimenting with notes. "Hey, sis. Guess what?" He burst in, excitement spilling over. "What?" she asked, her eyes lit with curiosity. "I'm going to create a concert. Like, a real one." "Whoa, that's the best. Can I help?" "Yes. We'll come up with ideas together." As they worked harmoniously, shaping vision and events, Tyler felt the support of his family and community melding into a powerful chord. The joy of making music turned into a joyful endeavor of connection. Days turned into weeks, and with each practice, he poured out his heart into chasing light, refining it to a point where it reflected not just his journey, but also the shared experiences of all those around him. He began spreading the word about the upcoming concert, his excitement contagious. Finally, the day arrived, and the auditorium buzzed with energy. Tyler took the stage, heart pounding in a mix of excitement and anticipation. The lights dimmed, and with the crowd hushed, he closed his eyes, gathered his breath, and let the opening notes spill forth. As he played, he didn't just see the audience, he felt them. The laughter, the struggles, the encouragement fused into beautiful harmonies as he communicated his story through each note. When it ended, the applause was thunderous, echoing as if the walls were joining in the celebration of their unspoken connection. Mark caught his eye from the back, nodding in approval, and just like that, Tyler knew he had done it. He had crossed that invisible threshold from fear into possibility, forging a path not only for himself but for all the people around him. As he stepped off the stage, exhilaration coursing through his veins, he realized sharing his music had forged a bond beyond what he could have ever imagined. Each note had a purpose, and in that moment, his heart swelled with renewed hope. He found his mother smiling brightly at the front of the audience and Emily cheering, her little body bouncing eagerly. The girl with the stuffed rabbit, the community he had once felt distant from, everyone was there, witnessing something incredible. "Mom! Emily! Let us celebrate!" he shouted, and they rushed into each other's arms. Time felt suspended, the anxiety of what lay ahead washed away. This was just the beginning. As Tyler looked into the faces of all those he would inspire, he felt braver than ever. All it took was that first step into the light. Music can heal, he whispered to himself, feeling the power in those words, and knowing it wasn't just about him anymore, it was about everyone he could touch through his melodies. The journey had begun, and he was ready for all the twists and turns ahead. Now, holding all this newfound hope, let us remember, you need to subscribe now to never miss amazing stories like this one. This is the moment to show your support and help us grow, so don't forget to leave a like now, tell us your thoughts in the comments, we want to hear your reactions, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support is everything.